Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. So for today's video, I have a black and white portrait done in watercolor, and I did this one a little earlier this year. I feel like I have like so many videos that I've just been like sitting on that I haven't like posted yet, but I'm getting to it. So I think I looked on a website that had free royalty free like pictures and stuff that you could use. So I found one that I liked. It was in black and white, and I did the sketching process. I posted that video. I don't know which month, it's been a while, but I posted like part 1 of this like video, which is kind of like me sketching it, and this is like part 2 of the actual painting process. Now with this one, I consider this like a warm-up because it had been a while since I'd done like a portrait, so I was really rusty. Honestly, I still am. So it's something I've been trying to work on a lot, and I've been posting more portrait videos because I'm really trying to like work on my skill set in terms of that. But yeah, later on, I guess once I took a step back and looked at it, I realized like proportion-wise certain things needed to be fixed. But like I had already been done painting, so we were kind of like past the ability to fix that per se. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's like I always said, I enjoy black and white sketchings or portraits just because they're probably like one of the easiest to do when it comes to painting, just because you don't have to worry about color. And also I did a little bit of sketching in of like the tones that make up kind of like certain features on the person's face and neck and stuff, so that you can see kind of like what the collarbone is and like certain contours and stuff, which just kind of helped make it easier for me when it came time to actually go in with the watercolor, because I knew which spots like were gonna be a little bit darker to create kind of like that little bit of realistic vibe to it. And then also I've been using a lot the blow dryer when I work with watercolor, because it just helps to speed along the drying process so that I don't have to wait. Because you know, if you don't completely dry it, then when you go with the wet paint with a different color, it'll kind of reactivate the layer under it, and I didn't really want that to happen when I was working on this, so I made sure when I needed to make sure it was dry, I came in with blow dry. Yeah, but also I was like in a different space too than I normally am when I'm working. Usually I work at this longer table that I have in my house, but for this, surprisingly enough, like I was working in the kitchen, just because the kitchen, I don't know why, has like the best like lighting, and I want to make sure you could really see it, especially because like it's black and white and some of the tones are more on the lighter side, so I want to make sure you kind of was able to pick up everything. But yeah, and also I think when I was painting this, I forgot honestly how long it was in real time, but I don't think this took too long to paint, which is super surprising and like nice, because usually it takes me like an hour, 30 to 2 hours to paint, like I mentioned in other videos. So it was nice to kind of have like a quicker painting process with this and have it kind of come along. And I think part of that's because one, it was in black and white, but also because I had like a solid like foundation in terms of I knew where certain values were supposed to go. And also it's like super simple, like there's not a whole bunch going on as far as background goes, or like the actual person, so that kind of also contributed to making it a little bit easier. But also, like I mentioned, like I really need to get a smaller brush, like a liner brush, so when I'm working on like eyebrows and stuff like that, I can actually go in and do the very like small, like detailed like lines that represent kind of like the eyebrow hairs and stuff, so I can really get that like defined look. yeah, like it was really crazy when I was like working on this, because I don't remember if I was standing up when I was working on this or if I had a chair. Actually, no, take it back. I had a chair. Like, I had a really, really tall kind of like bar stool type of chair, because all the chairs that I had, none of them were like high enough to where I could like comfortably like sit and paint and be able to see what I was painting. Like all the chairs that I had were low because they went to like the dining room table. So I had like one like tall bar stool type of chair that I was able to use. And then I had to kind of like prop up the phone camera or whatever so I could like get a good angle. And like surprisingly, like with this, the angle actually was really good. Because I've done like previous videos where I was just starting out trying to figure out what was a good angle to like position so that you could like see. And oftentimes I had like a side view of what I was painting, and I don't really necessarily like side views. I prefer kind of like from like the POV of the person painting. So me, like I want other people who are watching this to look at it kind of how I'm looking at it. It just makes more sense to me that way, and visually I think it looks more correct in my opinion. So and I always usually do like tester videos or whatever so I can make sure like what I want in frame is in the frame and not out of it, or anything that is showing up like I want it to show up, or that I'm okay with it showing up. So I think this was really like good, I guess, setup wise. But right now I'm just going out with the blow dryer, drying any like wet spots from like the hair, the background. And like already, like the tones are very light, but you can kind of like already see like some of like the light values from like the pencil and the watercolor, which I really like. And I think it's probably like a good thing for me to do moving forward when I work with watercolor, is to have a good foundation in terms of sketching it first and actually adding in some of the gradation where it's needed so that it really pops through when I go in with the watercolor. Okay, now going back into the hair, adding probably like a darker value. So it looks like different strands of hair. I think I'm gonna do some more like warm-up type videos kind of like this where I'm practicing. I don't know if I'd do it in black and white again or if I'd try with color, but I always feel like I've said so many times before, like black and white is just like perfect. I feel like when it comes to like doing like warm-up type stuff or like more simplified stuff. Also too, I'm super excited. I was just thinking about it recently. I'm going back to school in September, so I've been thinking about possibly like filming some videos of some artwork that I'm going to be doing for some classes, because I'm planning on taking another illustration class and possibly a comics class. And I've never taken a comics class before, so I'm extremely excited to see what type of projects we'll have. And potentially filming some videos of the work I do for that class. And it looks like I'm going into like the neck. I don't remember, but I feel like, I guess we'll figure out when we get closer to the end, but I think I wind up adding like freckles. Because the reference, the girl like from my reference picture, I think she had freckles. And I don't know if like working with a smaller brush would have helped with the freckles, or if I kind of just like got a little too excited and did too many. But I don't know, I feel like that was one of the things like towards the end. I was like, at one point I liked the way it looked, and I feel like I did a few more than I should have. So then I was like, well dang. But I mean, it is watercolor, so I guess technically I could go in and like get rid of some of them, but I don't know.
Choose your fighter.
I always like water is so much fun, like how like you can just easily like move the paint around when you're working with watercolor. Because with acrylic, I don't know if it's because I don't work with like the liquefied like acrylic. I work with the more like thicker like tube kind. That it's like it dries super fast and it's not easily movable unless you add like water to it. So sometimes when I want to blend, like I have to work like super quickly with the acrylics so that it like doesn't dry up before I get a chance to blend it with another color. And then of course if you put down like a really dark color with acrylics, it's like you didn't want it to be dark, you wanted it to be on the lighter side, then I have to go in and like add white to it to like dull it down. So I have to put the correct color or like change it up because you have to do like several coats of that before you can get it to like not be so like prominent. It is really coming along. I'm doing like some kind of like light / hard shadows on the right side. I believe I'm probably gonna go back in and kind of just like smooth those out. But yeah, I really like how it's coming along. And they're working into the face. Okay, adding more shadow like of the eye. Cleaning up the lines, making it a little bit more darker. This is actually making me like super excited and I'm really wanting to try some more of these because it's been a while I think since I've done a black and white. I've mostly been doing acrylics recently. Trying to really get better at that and diversify like portfolio. Now blending it out, softening it. Okay, it's really coming along. I feel like every time you add like a little bit more, like darker value, like stuff starts coming like forward a little bit. And it stops kind of looking like somewhat flat. Okay, come back into like the hair part. I'm just kind of like smoothing that out, adding more shadow. Back into the hair. I'm trying to figure out where did I put this. Like I usually put like all my paintings in one spot, but I honestly don't know where I put this. I feel like I put this in like a folder somewhere. So I need to set up like a place in my room where I can put like a designated spot to put all the art pieces. Then we're going down into like the chest area. Adding more value.
Choose your fighter.
Slightly inspired.
Okay, yeah, this is the part where I start adding like the freckles. I don't remember if I kind of like was closely looking at kind of like where her freckles were like situated, or if I was kind of like freestyling it a little bit and putting like extra ones in different spots. Because at one point I liked it, and I think I changed kind of like the sizing of some of them, and then some of them were a little bit darker than others. So I feel like when I initially did it, like I liked it, and as I said, I think I went a little overboard. But yeah. Okay, now going back under the under eye.
Knockout. You win.
Okay, now I think I'm working on the lips. I always have like my set brushes too that I work with, like 3 or 4 of them, and I always feel like they're like the perfect size because I don't work on an extreme large scale. Like maybe if I'm working like 16 by 20, I feel like is usually like the largest I'll go, just because of time's sake. Unless I have like a long amount of time to work on something, maybe I'll go a little larger than that, but usually don't have that much time, so I just kind of stick with 16 by 20 being the largest I'll do. But then in that sake, that's when I probably use like some larger brushes. But when I'm working on a small scale like this, I just stick with the 3 to 4 brushes that are like on the smaller side, especially when I'm trying to do those like fine details.
Choose your fighter. Lightning inspired. Fight. You win.
Okay, we are at the end of the video basically, so as always, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on this post notification bell so you never miss when I post a new video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Choose your fighter.
Lightning inspired. Fight.